North and East Syria's first annual conference on economy and agriculture has come to a conclusion with the participation from over 150 delegates. The 20th February conference drew a number of conclusions, including the establishment of a high-level economic council for the region, increased provision of agricultural materials, increased provision of fuel for agricultural workers, and the establishment of new branches of the Noam Company. The Noam Company is a subsidized network of markets providing basic goods at below market prices, in parallel to the provision of subsidized bread and crude oil by the autonomous administration of North and East Syria. The conference was attended by representatives of local agricultural committees, as well as representatives of executive and legislative committees across the autonomous regions. Emine Ose, the deputy co-chair of the Executive Council of the Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria, she said, Other speakers highlighted the particular challenges the region faces, including not only the impact of the coronavirus on the region, but also the effective economic embargo imposed by neighboring powers, as well as the detrimental effect of successive Turkish invasions. Other proposals put forward at the conference included new protection for public land, an overhaul of irrigation systems, and financial stimulation for the so-called social economy.
So by now, of course, the borders...
Noam Chomsky, a linguist, author, and historian who was 93 years old, spoke to Medyanews TV channel via Skype from his home in Tucson, Arizona. Chomsky contributed to the segment of Medyanews daily broadcasting about the Biden administration's Syrian policy, as well as the Iran issue and complicated Middle Eastern relations. Noam Chomsky stated that Biden administration policy on Syria is pretty much continued Trump's policies with little changes.
Well, the invasion of Iraq had complex effects. Of course, it was devastating for Iraq. Hundreds of thousands of people killed, millions of refugees. It incited ethnic conflicts which had not existed before, which have torn the country apart and spread and have been tearing the region apart. There are many other factors. The brutal reaction of the Assad regime withdrew from it, essentially destroyed it over the strong objections of Europe in violation of Security Council orders. Biden has, and he also imposed extremely harsh sanctions. The Biden administration, for the time being, has pretty much continued those policies, except rhetorically. It says it's willing to go back to some version of the joint agreement, but not the one that was originally agreed to and that the U.S. violated. So the region's in turmoil. There are some positive signs. There are slight moves towards mutual accommodation between Saudi Arabia and Iran, United Arab Emirates and Iran, that might lessen tensions in the region. It might lead to more regional efforts to deal with their own problems.
The PKK must be removed from international terror lists, residents of the IDP-populated exclave of Shebha have said. Communes in the isolated region, which forms part of but is separated from the contiguous autonomous administration of North and East Syria, have been gathering signatures across the region under the slogan, Justice for Kurds. The campaign to rethink the listing of the PKK, also known as the Kurdistan Workers' Party, is expected to continue for 3 days. Turkey benefits from the PKK being de facto included on terror lists across the West, though no European court has ever found that the PKK should be included on the domestic terror lists. It is only Turkey, the USA, and the EU which consider the PKK to be a terror organization, As such, there are ongoing calls for the international community to reconsider its current de facto listing of the PKK as a terrorist organization. Critics say the PKK is only included on terror lists at Turkey's behest, to stifle legitimate debate on any attempt toward a resolution of the crisis in Turkey. The issue is expected to garner considerable support in Shebha, which is home to tens of thousands of Kurd IDPs displaced as a result of Turkey's anti-Kurdish policies, justified on eradicating the PKK in the region. Turkey's 2018 invasion killed hundreds and displaced hundreds of thousands of IDPs as part of a campaign of forcible demographic change. A seminar on women in the age of democratic thought has been held in Manbij, North and East Syria, to discuss women's role in building a new political consensus in the region. The discussion was organized by the Women's Office of the Civil Society Association in collaboration with the Women's Assembly of the Syria's Future Party, a moderate party increasingly popular in Arab regions of Nis. The seminar was attended by members of civil society organizations, the Autonomous Administration of North and East Syria, and other political parties. Sozdar Khaled, a member of the Women in Civil Society Organization Executive Committee, said, "The freedom of women is the freedom of societies, and without women, no revolution is possible." The large Arab city, which was freed from ISIS rule 2016 by Kurdish-led forces working together with allied Free Syrian Army units, is home to an increasingly active political culture in which women play a leading role. Education in your mother language is among the most important aspects of a proper education and has to be treated as a right. However, Kurds in North-East Syria gained that right after the Rojava revolution that took place in the region pioneered by the Kurds themselves. The Kurdish people can go to universities in the mother language now.
جرين كردا سروك عشيران وهناك آغا بملي خوخن وبيجنجو كرد ما في خناقة زنفايا متفنا توا تركي دجين وبرسكريك نينا لي اف وكا خيانتك درباري ما في قالي كرساني دبو بيجيشتي در كتنا فرنسا جفيدي وكا امتزانن نافي سوريا كومارا سوري بو حتى چلو پینجاجی حتى دما فرنسا الفدري لي پشتی فرنسا درکت هنک پارتی هاتنا سر تخت ریوبریه پارتی انجور به جرمون حتى 4-5 کسین کرجی کتنا سروکاتیا سوریه ده لي مخابن دماغو بحث هات سر ریوبری آنجی حکم و بیتر بملی شوفینیزم ده چون و زمان کردی و چاندا کردی قدخه کرن ده انجام وی دجی اگر کردکی لدبستانی آن لکولانان بکردی پیوک بکرانا دهات توان بار کرن کوت انفصالیه کوت لدجی نتوا عربیه براستی گلک روشنبیری ما تیک چون آنجی جیانا خوش دستان و کتن زیندانا و گلک جوان کوچبر بون یعنی داخوازا ما فی خود کرن حیا گیشت شورشا 19 تیرمه کو کردا هنگی براستی شورشک ده زمان کردی ده پیک آن
پرورده دناوا جواک ده بلابو که وانه کردی تبلی دبستان ابو ایدی پشتره بریار هات گرتن که برانش بگشتی منهاج ببه بزمان کردی زاین چقیسی زحمت که دایک تیرا درباست به لید انجام ده جیانه که نه بدست که شورشا زمان کردیجی عینی بو اصلا زمانی کردی بی و شورشی بر تنبونی و دچو مخابن یعنی ما تجربه بخوام کردی یعنی برنگه کی و شارتی درس زمانی کردی 8 و 7 استاندنه یعنی زمان اگر نکه واری پرورده ده او زمان ببر قرقرینه و تنبونه و دچه آستنگی و زحمتی ام دبینن هر تمج دور پیش کردن
A new edition of the Kurdish women's magazine, Silava, has been released. The magazine is published under the headline, From Sarah to Vian. Nujian, and Rojinan. We will set the fire of freedom alight in revenge. The title of the magazine, which was first published in 2014, refers to Kurdish women killed during the ongoing struggle against the Turkish state conducted by the Kurdish PKK guerrilla movement. The edition covers a wide range of topics, including recent assault against Kurdish women's activists conducted by the Turkish armed forces, as well as comments from imprisoned Kurdish leader Abdullah Öcalan. The magazine is published in both Arabic and Kurdish, and covers social, political, women's ideological, historical, cultural, and artistic subjects. It is organized by the Young Women's Union. 2 of those members were killed in a Turkish drone strike in December 2021 against the city of Kobani. A new film on the successful defeat of ISIS by primarily Kurdish forces in the city of Kobani is set to reach cinema screen within the next 6 months. Screenwriter and director Özlem Yaşar said that the film was made with the support of the people of Kobani and the international community, much like the resistance in Kobani itself, and drew a further comparison due to the participation of actors from all 4 regions of Kurdistan. The film was based on hundreds of interviews with participants on the fight against ISIS, and includes actors who were themselves participants in the 2014 combat, which saw ISIS driven back from the city on the Syrian-Turkish border. The city of Kobane achieved international fame when it became the site of ISIS' first defeat, as the Kurdish-led YPG and YPG forces drove the terror organization out of the city with the support of US airstrikes and allied Free Syrian Army units. Since then, the region had faced regular threats of Turkish assault, invasion and occupation, as well as drone strikes, sniper attacks, and shelling. During filming, the film crew and actors themselves faced shelling and attacks from the Turkish forces, and production was postponed due to Turkey's 2019 invasion of the region. We spoke to the witness, to the fighters, to the people, and we remained true to their stories, Ms. Yaşar said.